A number of tall ships docked at Port Colborne, Ontario this summer to celebrate the town's annual Canal Days festival. Port Colborne sits at the Lake Erie end of the Welland Canal, a canal that funnels cargo ship traffic from the Great Lakes to Lake Ontario and on its way to the Atlantic Ocean. Unfortunately, by the time I got there, all but the USS Niagara out of Erie, Pennsylvania, was still there, but I still had a good view of this magnificent ship. Men and women swarmed over the structure, and I was reminded that a book title referred to the period as a time when there were wooden ships and iron men, and now women were thrown into the mix as well. I feel that it was the beginning of a new age when sails were expanded to capture the wind and to replace the oars and brawn that were used previously, and the technology of ropes, winches, and pulleys were refined and put into play to raise and unfurl, angle, and collapse the massive sails that weighed hundreds of pounds and got more numerous and larger until it seemed that they might tip the boat over. The goal was to maximize the capture of wind and propel the ships faster and faster, since they were trying to move products and people more quickly, with the end result, the making of more money to fuel more commerce. Men were often kidnapped to work the boats, held in servitude, and many lost limbs and lives, and were swallowed up by the sea with barely a mention, where it was not the rule of law but the rule of the captain that counted. What stood out for me, though, was the sheer extent, the size, and number of ropes that made the structure resemble a massive spider's web, coiled, strung out, pulled and tugged as if by a puppet master. Today, these reproductions are not concrete evidence of the particular materials, skills, and technology employed at the time, but also of a culture that we can only imagine existing. One of the current crew told me that there was no plumbing to speak of on these original ships, so they would relieve themselves over the side at the front of the boat, the head, which is what they call the toilets on boats today, and maybe, coincidentally, what we call our leaders of government today as well.